Good morning and welcome to AI Tech Tuesdays, where we simplify AI, we cut through the hype, and we show you what actually works in your business to help grow your business. My name is Crystal Gonzalez, and I'm the owner of CGX Virtual Solutions, where we help business owners get back their time and their sanity. At CGX, we build and manage entire operations systems. This means that we will design the workflows, build the systems, and integrate trained human support inside that structure so that when you're out on a job site, your business keeps running smoothly behind the scenes.
Hi, I am Yamille with System IQ. I specialize in helping local home service businesses infuse technology into their operations so that growth doesn't have to rely on the owner or the team remembering to do something. So if you feel like your team is juggling a million things and you're sick and tired of having to be there all the time just to keep track of operations, I'm here to install the systems that keep things moving. This isn't about replacing anyone. It's about giving the team you already have a better way to work so that you can scale without the kid.
Thank you so much, Yamil. I'm so excited for this episode of AI Tech Tuesdays because we wanted to kind of go a little bit off of what we normally do, which is your AI tools. We think that this is really important, what we're going to talk about today. I was talking with Yamil a little bit off camera, and there's some things that both of us, her and I, have encountered that we think is really critical that we want to share with our listeners. Some of those things can really make a huge impact on business. Well, all of these things actually we're going to talk about. And so we thought that it would be a great time to kind of share our experience with some different clients that we've worked with and some struggles they're having so that we can kind of help you see things in a different light and maybe take a better approach on, what you're going to do in your business. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was it's called the leaky pipe problem in business. Yamil, do you want to talk a little bit about what the leaky pipe problem is in business?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I've experienced is when I talk to people, they will tell me that they are running ads, they're doing social media posting, really all the things that they need to do to generate leads and generate potential customers. But then they don't have any place to catch it, whatever they do generate. They don't have proper forms on their websites that actually do something when they're submitted. So a customer might think they submitted something and they don't know anything about it. The business owner doesn't even get the message. So nothing gets followed up on. Or phone calls are not being answered. If somebody does call and say, "Hey, I need a like a pipe burst in my bathroom. I need somebody to come in and have a look." And they're not answering the phone. So what happens? Immediate moving to the next thing. So you're really making revenue all day, and you don't even realize it. And that's what we're here to talk about and help you fix.
Yeah, that's something that I noticed in the last, and well, it was something that came up twice last week with some clients that I was talking with, actually some leads as well that came in, or prospects that were kind of telling me a little bit about their situation. And what I learned more is that marketing companies are out trying to get business owners to buy into their marketing system, their marketing program, and buy these leads. And they're wanting to run leads for you to be able, or run these ad campaigns to get you leads. I'm sorry. And what ends up happening is you jump and you say, "Yes, I want to get leads. Yes, of course I want leads." And they'll ask you, "Can you handle the leads?" "Oh, yes, I can handle the leads." But the critical problem here is you don't have the infrastructure set up to catch those leads coming into your business. And so if you think about in the leaky pipe scenario, what you think about is you've got a pipe and you've got water that flows through the pipe, and the water is the revenue, right? But what happens is when you don't have that proper system set up, it's like you have a leaky pipe. And instead of fixing the pipe, you're taking the advice of the marketing agency that's saying, "Oh, you want more leads? You're not making enough return on your ad spend? Well, just spend more money and you'll get more leads and you'll make more money." But that's not really the case. What it is you first need to fix the system. You need to fix that leaky pipe so that you can understand better the leads that are coming in. What value do those leads have? What's happening with them? Do you have a system that's going to be following up and answering the calls? What do you have in place on the back end? Because speeding up the flow in your leaky pipe is just going to create more of a leaky pipe. So you're losing more money quicker than actually capturing that money coming in. And so that's really what we wanted to talk about, the main things that are causing businesses to leak revenue and some tips on some things that you can do to fix that.
Yeah.
So,
And as technology also improves and AI, going to what we normally talk about here, the way that people search for services, how they find you, whether it's an advertisement or whether they're on Google or they're asking Alexa or they're however it is they're finding you, there's going to be a time where you must have these systems set up on the back end. Otherwise, you won't even show up in these searches, or your
mhm,
ads are not even going to be placed in front of people because if you're not servicing people properly and being responsive enough, then you're just not going to hear about any of this. So you must have these systems in place in order to not just not leak money, but just have people find you. Because if you don't have it, it's just you're just going to be invisible. That's not a good thing for anybody.
over the last year, I've had two companies in the trades business that were generating massive amounts of revenue that I saw when I did when I would meet with them and we would discuss things about how their business was going. I'd find out they were bringing in revenue, but their ad spend was increasing. So they were barely breaking even. Or one company, for example, was working with a marketing agency that was doing well, but she had changed networking groups and she wanted to give the business to a new marketing company because she was in that networking group. And what happened is when she switched everything over, it dramatically tanked her leads coming in.
Mm,
Ultimately, she lost her business from it. So this is really
oh,
critical because the marketing companies are just going to say, spend more money. Let's just spend more money. But there's strategy behind building these marketing campaigns, ensuring that when leads are coming in, they're being captured quickly, they're being responded to quickly, and that you have the proper infrastructure on the back end to be able to support that so that you can grow and you're not going
mhm,
backwards instead of forwards. And
yeah.
another thing that I think is really important is we talk about is how service businesses, statistics say that service businesses are missing up to 60% of their calls. Those calls are coming in, they're coming unanswered. Yamil, why don't you talk about that story you were telling me about with the tow company?
Yeah. So about I think it was a month ago or so, my car battery had died and I had an appointment, a hard won appointment because it took a while to get it. So I had to make sure I was there, but my car wouldn't start. So I had to either have it towed or have it junked in order to get it to the dealer for repair. And, at this point, it's non-negotiable. I need somebody right now. There's no waiting 24 hours. There's not waiting 2 hours. I need somebody right now. And I started calling people. The ones with the best reviews is where I started. And guess what? That particular one went to voicemail. Completely useless because I don't care when you're going to get back to me. I need you right now. So I called another one. No answer at all. The third one, not just answered, but they were at my front door within 30 minutes. I was worried I wasn't going to make my appointment that I set up last month, and they were there. They followed me the service was impeccable from the beginning to the end, all the way. Payment systems, all the things. So they took care of me from beginning to end and exceeded my expectations. The others never even contacted, never even had an opportunity because they just weren't there. And as far as I'm concerned, they're non-existent. I will never call them again. And you don't want that to be you. So you want
Mhm.
to make sure you're covering your bases, making sure that if nobody's at your office to answer the phone, have something catching the call so that you don't miss it. And ideally, something that will get to you or somebody who can act upon that. Otherwise, guess what? The next business is going to get the phone call and they're going to get the money. And you probably will never get the chance again to talk to that customer.
Yep, most definitely. Research does show that the first business to respond will often win the
Hmm.
customer. And that's so
Yes.
true. They say that the speed to lead is so critical, especially in these trade businesses, because most likely, especially if you're running an ad campaign, they're calling because they need you now. Like
Hmm.
you're probably on Google, you're sponsored, they're on Google, they're selecting you. You work so hard to be able to, you've paid so much money to run these
Hmm.
ads and then on your back end is not working. And so this is really critical, guys. And there's a lot of strategies that we can put into place to help you. Both Yamil and I work with businesses all the time. And maybe you can't answer your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can't afford to have a team member answering. We can help you set up a system that will ensure that every call gets answered, every call. And so if you want to learn more about that, we'd love to be able to kind of have a meeting with you. We have a what's called a free revenue leak audit that we're doing as well for our listeners to help them be able to see where they're leaking money. So that might be we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this episode. But
Mhm.
there's another leak that we wanted to talk about specifically, and that is confusing SOPs and training materials. I don't know how many times I've brought in an assistant into a business, and they're trying to build the second layer of their company. So they've got the first layer, their assistants, their management, and an assistant maybe, and then they're wanting to bring in a second layer of team members. So ones that will be probably reporting to, well, actually, I think it'd be the third layer if I'm really being honest, because you've got your owners and your managers, and then you've got the ones that report to them. And so as you go down further down the line of your org chart, information is getting lost, and you're writing these SOPs and you're putting these SOPs together, expecting that your new team members are going to be able to follow these SOPs. But what I found is that the SOPs tend to be scattered across different places, very long. And if an assistant is needing to get an answer to a question, they have a phone call come in and they're not sure how to navigate that call. Businesses will say, well, we had it in the SOP, but wouldn't it be wonderful if you had a way to organize all your SOPs and your operational documents, your sales guides, and put them into a place that would be like the digital brain where the assistant could prompt it? Yamil, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Why don't
Mhm.
you give them a little information on how useful this can be and all the different ways they can use it?
Well, useful for really to have people that are in the assistant level or even customer facing. You don't have to ask a manager for permission. You don't have to ask a manager for clarification. You have everything that you need in front of you. All you need to do is query it, ask the question, and then you get the answer. And the customer is satisfied right from the get-go. The employee feels great because they feel empowered. They're giving the right information because it's coming from that digital brain that has been created for this particular business. And one of the tools we've used, and we showed a little bit about on this on the first couple episodes that we did, was using Notebook LM. That's just one way to do it. And the easy way to do it is just upload what you have and then provide that to your team members so that when they have a question about something. And you could create it, a sales department, a marketing department, a front facing. You can kind of isolate it into specific departments so that only those people have access to that particular information, in addition to the general company info that everybody should be giving anybody who asks the right information without having to ask the next level up, right? So that's one way to do it. Create that digital brain so that anybody that works for you always has a way to get to the information quickly and they don't have to dig through, some binders back there on a shelf that they have to dust off whenever they're going to use it. Because that's not going to be useful when you have a phone call, a customer upset because something didn't happen or they were promised something and they didn't get it or whatever. And it's in your SOP, but who the heck is going to go in there and do it? You need it now. You need the answer right
Mhm.
now. How do you do it? How do you get to it quickly? This is how you do it.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
one way.
spend 10 minutes trying to answer a
No,
question that is somewhere buried in an SOP somewhere. But if you have
exactly.
you
Exactly.
have a system, because documents alone are not creating these systems. You're like, we've created all these SOPs, we've put our system together, but that is not what specifically creates the system. But if you have a
Right.
digital knowledge base per se, where the assistant can go in and prompt it, and it's only within the data that we've put into this knowledge base, then they're only going to get the answers that are pertinent towards your business. And so I think that that is a
Exactly.
critical thing. We can upload the employee manual and your training documents. We can put so much stuff in there. And then this is going to help because humans make mistakes. We
Hmm.
make errors. Even the best of assistants out there, team members make mistakes. But if they are prompting the knowledge base to be able to get the answer whenever they're having trouble, they're going to be given the same answer all the time. And this will really
Hmm.
help you'd be able to grow your company, add in that additional layer of team members, and everybody have the same information. And there'll be no excuse that I didn't know, or I didn't see that in the SOP, or I couldn't find it, or it wasn't in the SOP, because we'll be able to create that knowledge base where you'll be able to train right away out of the get go when a team member joins your company, to use and prompt this knowledge base. Another thing that I think is really cool that you can do as well is in your AI, like ChatGPT or Gemini, or whichever one you're using, you can actually connect it to your email box and ask it, search my emails and find out what are the top 10 questions that customers had regarding our services, or what are some of the objections that we received over the last year in the emails, different things like that. And your AI can actually go in and search through all your emails and find out what problems your assistants or your team members are having to address, what questions they're having, and we can help build that into the knowledge base as well.
Also, another really great use case for what you just was talking about is that you can even create content around that. You can write blog posts. You can, put information, create YouTube videos about the specific question that you uncovered is very common in your business. You can create reels. I mean, it opens up the possibilities, not just to provide great service to your internal customers, your external customers, your team members feel empowered because they have the answer. Managers don't have to feel like they're always being bothered by somebody asking the same question again and again. I mean, there's just so
Hmm.
many benefits to it, to have a centralized, if you call it a library of your company. Wouldn't that be cool if you just had, your own little library centralized for what you do specifically, your processes specifically, so that when somebody asks, whether it's internal, external, always spot on, you're always giving the right information. None of this, oh, I gotta ask manager. I don't know. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. It empowers
Hmm.
your employees to give great service because they have the information at their fingertips. So it's just there's so many great uses for having, that digital brain and that your internal library for your business right there. And anybody can get to it in your company. It's amazing.
Definitely. There's one thing that came up to me. It came on the top of my brain when you were saying that, and that's just last week. I had a meeting, and I was going to meet with someone, and I'm in networking group, and I was going to meet with this individual, and I remember looking at the business card and seeing that their email address was just standard email. They didn't actually have a custom domain towards their business. It's just their first and last name at gmail.com. And so I went in and I went into my knowledge base and I prompted it and I said, I'm going to be meeting with this customer, approximate age of about this much. And I really need to know what things I need to say, or what will prompt this individual to be more interested in the services I provide. Because clearly, older individual, maybe not too tech savvy. So my digital brain knowledge base gave me everything I needed to do. And it says, absolutely do not talk about AI or tech with this individual. You'll lose the sale right away. But it was really cool that I was actually able to go into this book, this digital brain knowledge base, prompt it, say who I was going to meet with. And so I've been actually using it very regularly because I meet with all different types of clients and I really want to know, what is it that I need to say? I'm a great salesperson, don't get me wrong, but having this at my fingertips to be able to say, I'm meeting with so and so, this is what the profile looks like. How do I
Mhm.
position myself to be able to win this sale? And it helped me. It gave me everything. It was
Yeah.
awesome. So that's really cool. I mean, I can't say, I don't have enough words to say how extremely useful these tools are with business owners and helping train their team, helping their team be able to capture sales. They don't have to be, the best at sales. They just need to be able to understand the process and be able to prompt this book and it tell them what to do. And as long
Mhm.
as they follow the instructions, as long as they follow what's put in front of them, anybody can do it. It's that simple.
Yeah. It can also help you explain things in a certain way, like what you were just saying, a less tech savvy person that you need to pitch or explain something. It doesn't have to be a pitch. You could just be talking about something. But how you speak to an older person versus a younger person is completely different. So you're providing the same service. There is no change in the service, but how you speak about it to that
Mhm.
individual based on who they are and what their likes and dislikes. In the marketing world, we like to call it the ideal customer profile, the avatar, the customer avatar. It's a specific type of person. You speak to somebody in a certain way based on who they are. This
Mhm.
is fantastic. No different than when in your marketing communications, you want to personalize. This is doing the same thing.
Yep. Yep. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the operational chaos on the back end. And we kind of talked about it a little bit, but when a team member has to run on so when systems are unclear and a team member has to rely on memory, they're gonna be guessing, they're gonna be asking the owner, they're gonna be trying to figure things out themselves, which is gonna create inconsistent service, slower operations, owner burnout, and frustrated employees. Those are important things to note, that all these things are things that really need to be addressed, and something that Yamil and I both love helping business owners
Mhm.
address, because we wanna show you a structured way that you can implement this system, organize your chaos on the back end, have AI help you, and really take your business to a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I think that one of the other comments I have on that is businesses that have been running for a while and their owner is the owner of the tribal knowledge about the business. They do things a certain way for a certain reason. But why couldn't you just put that down so that you didn't have to be the only one who had the answers to the questions? What if everybody in your company had that same tribal knowledge? Essentially, take your brain out and hand it over to them. And you don't have to be involved. So if you're an owner that isn't in the day to day, how cool is that? I mean, you can share your knowledge without having to actually spend the time between somebody and hand them your brain, right?
Mhm.
You're doing it in a different
Yep.
way and more effective way so that they have access to it all the time, even when you're not there.
Yeah, and I think some of these business owners are older. They've had their business for years. They've been doing things
Mhm.
certain ways. Maybe they don't have these processes documented. But I brought up in a previous episode, but I'll say it again. This is an AI no pin right here, and this can capture transcripts and data to be able to put together processes for you. It can take transcripts and build SOPs out of it. So there's ways that we can help a business owner to really get those processes documented and help them organize that back end. We'll help them do that. So don't think that that's like super overwhelming, because that's where we come in and we can really help
Mhm.
you put this together, and it doesn't have to be so over complex. We can start with the basics and really just kind of start with a plan. And that's where our AI, our revenue leak audit comes in. If you go to our website at aitechtuesdays.com, there's a link there where you can book your free audit with us. And in that audit, we're going to estimate about approximately how much revenue may be slipping through the cracks each month at your business. We'll put together a simple 90-day plan to help you stabilize your operations. We'll talk about the main bottlenecks that are slowing your business down, and we'll even put together a 12-month roadmap for improving your business and growing it. These are practical things that you can do right away. And we're going to put all of this together in our audit for you. And we will deliver this audit within 72 hours of our meeting. So this is something free. You get to keep it. If you're interested and you feel like this may be a good move, and you do know that you have revenue leaks, or maybe you don't even know, we'll help identify them. We're going to take 30 minutes out of our time for free to do this audit with you and really show you, and we'll send you that audit. So if you're interested in this, definitely you can go to aitechtuesdays.com and click on the link there to book your free revenue audit. Sorry, revenue
Yep.
leak audit. Yep.
I mean, if you don't know what's leaking, you can't fix the leak. So it's take advantage of that. I think it'd be really helpful to business owners out there if you're listening. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
for
do we have
sure.
anything
And
else, Miss Crystal?
no, I'll just say one thing, and just the numbers. The numbers are really important. And the numbers
Yeah.
say that, let's just say you miss one job per week at an average ticket of
Mhm.
$1,200 to $1,500 each ticket. That would be $5,000 to $6,000 in lost revenue just by missing one job per week. If you were to miss two jobs per week, that adds up to over $10,000 per month of lost revenue. Over a period of 12 months, that could be 120 to
Yeah.
$150,000 in lost revenue. So this report that we're going to generate for you is going to really help pinpoint and see exactly how much money you
Hmm.
or very close number of what you're really leaking in revenue and help you to be able to get that stopped right away. And that's crucial for businesses because that's a difference between staying
Absolutely.
open and closing down your business.
I mean, a hundred and something $1,000 annually that you could have in your business, that could change your life, you
Mhm.
know?
It could go to
And
so many
really
different
without
things.
in so many different things, so many different ways, really just by not missing things that are happening already. Maybe you're not even running ads. These are just phone calls that are coming in regularly because people find you however they find you.
Mhm.
You just have to make sure you catch it. And if you catch it, you will recover that income. You will recover it, provided you do get good service and you can provide great service to your customers. Obviously, that's on you. But if you capture it, you have the opportunity to provide it. But if you don't capture it, you have no opportunity to provide that service to anyone. So yeah, take advantage of that revenue leak audit that we're offering here. It'll be really beneficial, and it doesn't cost anything, but you can gain a lot.
Yep. We'll make sure we get it 2 hours of the call with us and the working session because it is a working session. It's not really a call per se. It's a session we're going to be
Hmm.
working with you, and we're going to be asking some
Yeah.
really critical information that's going to help us put this report together. But we want to be able to all of our listeners extend that out to you as something for free that we can help you with, whether you decide to work with us or not. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Make sure you can subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that you know when our new episodes drop. And if you're interested in getting that free, go to our website at aitechtuesdays.com. That's plural, aitechtuesdays.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you. Have a great week.
Bye bye.